Some of you know that I make videos called what I call Topic of the Week videos. Others of you know that there's a process behind it all. I'm going to show you that process today. I'm going to give you 3 easy steps on how to make a good topic video. I'm dbop14, swagmaster52, Dylan Herring, whatever you would like to call me, Toastmaster52, and we're going to make a YouTube video. When making a video, it comes down to the pen and paper. Step 1 is coming up with a good topic. Typically you want a topic that you have good experience with, or even maybe a little bit of experience, something you can talk about for a good bit, but not bore people. What I like to do is get my journal together and write out some ideas, which I've done multiple times for my videos. Make sure it's something others are interested in, not just something you like, but maybe something that someone wants to know more about, or maybe something that they do like. Write down all the ideas you possibly can, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure you have a page or two or something, because you want to make sure you have enough material so that you don't have too short of a video that doesn't really grab the attention of a viewer. Step number 2 is explaining your material well. You don't want to talk about something you don't really know about, or something that people won't understand because you didn't explain it right. Make sure you use personal examples to give yourself some sort of credibility with the topic you're talking about, so people think that you're just not talking about something you only did research on. And also use other examples. You know, maybe there's professionals in this thing that you're talking about, and you could also talk about that as well. Also, use visual examples. I like to call it B-roll. It's a film thing where you take different cutscenes of different objects to give a good visual example. That way people aren't just looking at your face while you're talking in the video the whole entire time. Last but not least, step number 3 is the big one. It's editing. Editing is a huge part of film. If you don't put your clips in the sequence that they need to be in order to explain your information well, then you're probably not going to get your point across in the video. Also, make sure you have good audio as well. People gotta actually hear what you're saying so they can understand what you're saying. Me personally, I have an external mic. I'm not using it in this video because the room I'm in is pretty well secluded, so I don't have to worry about the audio being too bad on the stock camera mic. But I typically do use a shotgun microphone, but for the sake of the video, to get more of a real feel, I decided not to do that. Also, when it comes to editing, the big deal is fixing the mess-ups. So maybe your lighting wasn't right, or your white balance just wasn't correct, and maybe you just didn't say things right in your videos and you're just like, hey, I can cut that out so you can have a more fluid video, or maybe you need more accurate colors or better lighting within your video, and maybe you could add some music to it and do your little cutscenes with your B-roll. Put all of that together. Although I've told you how to do all this stuff, I'm going to give you examples in the 3 topic videos I've already made, and how I constructed them throughout those videos as well. So hopefully this example helps you.
We're going to look at the cooking video because the cooking video is one of my personal favorites. It's well constructed and it's classically hilarious. So I was trying to write down ideas for this, and this definitely has potential. And I'm definitely going to screw this up. But in the end, we're just talking about stuff, right? Right? Who needs a script? This isn't even a script. This is just... So, you can already tell that I wrote stuff beforehand on cooking, which is good because you're supposed to have stuff planned out, like I said before in step 1. So, step 1 has succeeded in this. As you can tell, I actually didn't write a lot, but it turned out to be a pretty good video.
Who cares?
Da, 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 da. It's the one and only dude.
Nobody cares, right? I don't care. Because cooking is one of those things, everyone knows their experience level. You're either amazing, like Bobby Flay good, and then if you're that good, you're beat Bobby Flay good, so you don't get chopped, because sometimes that's a cutthroat kitchen. So there's the people who are good, then you have the people that are like good enough to get by, which is where I'm at.
I can grill, and there's a few things I can cook.
This right here is a pretty good example of personal experience. You're pretty much stating where your place is in the topic that you're talking about and what you've done with it.
Then you have people who should be nowhere near anything that cooks, anything that heats up whatsoever, because they will probably end up, 1, burning down the house, 2, burning down the food, and 3, burning down themselves.
Making toast.
This right here is a perfect example of using a different cutscene to explain the topic that you're talking about. Very well. And it's also very comical, so that's always good too.
It's a good old day to be making some toast. It's just toast. I'm not gonna burn it because it's toast. Toast is easy, right? Yeah, totally. I swear, if I burnt the toast. The fire alarm's going off. Yep, I burnt the toast. Burnt the toast. Jeez, God.
Don't need that. I know people like that. You know who you are. I wouldn't even let those people touch a microwave.
Derek, I swear, if you press start.
For all I know, they're hitting 5, thinking 5 seconds. When that thing's going for 5 minutes, boom, explode. They probably stuck a fork in there. You're not using my microwave. Those people will never understand cooking, I don't think. And they probably eat out a lot because that's just the easy way to go. I know that's the easy way to go. The thing about cooking for me, or grilling, is that I could cook a burger and it'd take me like 15 minutes, sometimes 20. You know, you gotta cook them right. And I try to be patient, because if you're impatient, you burn them somehow. But, you know, I would much rather just go to, like, McDonald's and then have them just hand me a crappy burger, because I know I'm going to eat both of them in the same amount of time, which is 5 minutes. So if you do the math, if I live 5 minutes away from McDonald's, and it takes them 5 minutes to give me my food, that is a total of 10 minutes. And if it takes me almost 20 minutes and 5 minutes to eat my food, to me, that is the
worst trade deal ever made.
That's just too much time. I ain't got that time. That's totally why I'm sitting in my basement just recording videos, because I ain't got that time. Cooking is an art, and I have definitely dabbed in the arts of cooking. But what I've noticed about cooking is that there's different types. So you have your I mean, I guess people won't call it cooking. I categorize them, in different categories, I guess. So I would say, you have your standard cooking, which is like making mac and cheese. You're cooking it. There's grilling, so you got like your burgers, your hot dogs on the grill. And then there's baking, so you got like your brownies and your cookies and all the stuff that's really good. So
this right here is B-roll. I'm talking about baking and grilling, so I show you something of a grill and an oven. So this is a pretty good example. I didn't use a lot of B-roll in this video because my facial expressions were pretty good as I was explaining the story, so I didn't feel like a lot of B-roll was necessary. But explaining this, I felt like this B-roll was cool, especially with that transition from inside the oven to outside of the oven.
You're either a baker, a griller, or a chef. Boyardee. Me, I'm a griller. I guess that's like a man's thing, because apparently when you take pictures of these burgers you grill up and you put hashtag wife me up, everyone's like, that's a man's job. Why would we want to wife you up? But every time someone makes mac and cheese from a box that knows how to read the directions, it's all about wifing them up, because they can make mac and cheese out of a box. I find that absurd. But in the end,
typically when I say in the end, it's referring to a conclusion, so I'm probably concluding my thoughts on the explanation. So I would say that I explained the topic pretty well. Then again, it's probably a biased opinion because I'm the one who explained it. So be sure to draw a conclusion in your explanations so people can understand the main points you're trying to get at.
cooking is it's a tricky game. Because if you're impatient, you will always fail. In fact, now looking at it, cooking's boring. Like every other art. See ya. That's all I got.
And finally, editing was a big deal. So if you look at this video, you can tell there were a lot of cuts in between from when I probably stuttered or something like that. And I cut that part so it was a little bit more fluid, talking-wise, and as well as the cutscenes itself.
So I know what you're thinking. Dylan, don't you have a sweet camera with a sweet tripod and a sweet microphone and some sweet lighting and a sweet room and a sweet background and a sweet computer and sweet software to do all this video stuff? Answer is yes, I do. But it took a lot of time to get all the things that I have over time. And I've realized that the equipment actually isn't as important as people think it is. It's the quality and content of the video that you're making. So as long as you have good quality, good content, people will watch your videos. Just make sure the audio is good enough to hear, the camera's good enough to see, and the lighting's, semi-decent, and that your sequence of clips is cut together. You'll be alright. My freshman and sophomore year, about 2 and 3 years ago, I used Windows Movie Maker to make all my videos and used my Galaxy S4 with an camera and a cheap like $10 tripod to get stuff done, and we still made it happen. So don't let the equipment, technology, software get in the way of you making videos the way you want to make your videos. I hope you enjoyed this demonstrative video on how to make a YouTube video like I do. Hopefully this inspires you to do something similar, or even if you do it the same way, that's okay. I really enjoy this, and I hope you can enjoy it too. Thanks a lot. Peace.